At this time, I would request that Dr. Irwin Goldenstein, the chairman of our Board of Regents, and Dr. Robert J. Glass, dean of the college, escort Mr. Borge to the platform. Dr. Goldenstein will read the citation and will present Mr. Borge for the degree.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends of Dana College, 23 years ago this month, in October of 1953, a young Danish immigrant rented a theater in Seattle, Washington for a one-week's engagement of a new show called Comedy in Music. The performer's name was Victor Borge, and his show didn't last 1 week. It lasted years. Almost everyone knows Victor Borge and that he is Danish and funny, but a question in the minds of many is, can he really play the piano? Before you leave here this afternoon, you will know the answer. You should also know that Victor Borge is a talented composer, a respected conductor, and a successful author. On the 4th of July this year,
Okay, now can you hear me very hard?
On the 4th of July this year, he was invited to speak at the Danish celebration of America's Independence Day, the largest observance of its kind outside the United States. In that address, he said, "When a Dane goes to America, he finds himself at first swimming in a much larger sea than he's used to. It may hide many reefs, and it nourishes sharks as well as mermaids. But Danes swim well in American waters, and while they never forget Denmark, they find it easier and quicker than you would imagine to feel at home in America. They can have the best of both worlds, I know, because it happened to me." It also happens at Dana, for here, too, we enjoy the best of both. Mr. President, in recognition of a multifaceted career that has brought him success on both sides of the Atlantic, his artistic skill and ability, his wit and wisdom, his great humanitarian efforts, and because we find in him the embodiment of the best of both, I am honored to present Victor Borge to receive the degree Doctor of Music honoris causa.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of Dana College, and upon the recommendation of its faculty, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Music with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. In token of that degree, Mr. Borge, it's my pleasure also to present you with this diploma that bears the seal of the corporation and is officially signed. Congratulations to you, Mr. Borge. Dr. Borge.
Mr. President, faculty members, honored guests, friends, kids, I'm overwhelmed and I'm delighted, and I wish to thank you sincerely for this great honor you have bestowed upon me. And I wish to say that if you honor the qualities I possess, whatever they may be, then I share this honor with all the people, thousands and thousands of them, who have been responsible and have nursed those qualities, if they are or have been worth nursing. I feel almost like the Queen of Denmark here with this. Not physically, of course, but in many respects. And now that I have the opportunity, I'd like to bestow an honor upon the president of the Dana College, because I found it on the floor. You apparently dropped it. So now you have been knighted twice. As I say, you are now a weekend. Well, again, thank you very, very much. I shall, so long as I live, remember this occasion and look upon it as one of the great moments on a long life. Thank you very much.
If you will bear with us for just a couple minutes while we leave the stage and Mr. Borge can change and get ready for the concert. Thank you. Because of the very tight schedule that Mr. Borge has, the rest of the program will be entertainment, and there will be no intermission. He told me I was going to be a straight man, but I didn't know it was going to happen that way. It's my extreme pleasure to present to you Dr. Victor Borge and his concert entitled Something Special for Dana. Won't you greet him again, please?
Now that I'm a doctor, is anybody sick? Yeah. Well, I have been looking forward to this event ever since 1:30, 15 years ago. And I'm sorry it took so long time for me to have an opportunity to visit Dana, but I am convinced, and I'm looking forward to my next visit, which I hope will be much sooner than this one. And well, if you insist, but I'm a little short of breath because it's been a long day and I have been breathing all the time. Yeah. We had a lovely lunch, and now I'm glad I'm a doctor. Well, what's that? Oh, my uncle. It is a thrill to be here, and I understand there are many. It's a kind of a strange piano. There's no keyboard on it. Oh, I see. Yeah. They probably expect rain. I have often been asked to play a number all the way through, and I am delighted to have this opportunity to tell you that I'm definitely not going to do it. For two reasons. One is that I don't know anything all the way through. and that happens to be the other reason also. But I've been practicing some endings. And the ones of you who have heard me before but were missing some endings will now hear some endings. I do hope they will belong to some of the beginnings to which they are. If anybody wants to discard paper or bags and things like that, we have the waste paper baskets hanging over there. And that's one of these side out. Point is that you must hit it right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to play, I have a request, and I have many requests today. I have been asked to do a lot of different things, and I hope that I will be able to do most of them. Those windows need cleaning. Next doctor is waiting outside there. Well, I guess we're even so far. Now, I will play an etude by Chopin, the Danish composer Frederick Chopin. And who are you? Official? They must have fertilized you a lot. The way he grew up, good old Dane. Now, we'll get some fresh air. Is this too drafty? Are you a statue, sir, or do you stand up? No, you stay. Are there any children in the audience? Yes? Okay. Out. We do have some children here. That means I can't do the last part in the nude. Get a real doctor. Madam, if everybody's going to laugh individually, we will never get out of here. An etude by Chopin. He wrote 24 etudes, the same Chopin, and some are good and some are better than others. Are you laying eggs? That's terrific. My goodness. That's marvelous. Well, I don't blame you at prices nowadays. Well, as I said, Chopin wrote 24 etudes. The weather is bad in here. Lightning. Some better. Are you sitting there laughing at your doctor? It's Carla. That's my friend Carla. he was. Okay. 24 etudes. Yeah. Where did you eat? Now you have one doctor and one patient. Yeah. My goodness. But anyway, Chopin Etude, I hope you will enjoy it. You might as well. Sounds like Lowry's Melchior. But I don't know that one anyway. Well, doesn't matter. I'm going to play another one. I think a little Mozart would fit into the occasion. I'm going to play a composition called a Bagatelle. It's a short piece. And that's it. My time is up. Oh, upside down, that's what it is. Yeah. Well, that's... Are there any Danes? Yeah, people, many from... 2, 3, 4. My grandfather gave me this watch 10 minutes before he died. Yeah, for $20. Plus tax. It tells the time, the day, the month, the year, and the altitude, because my grandfather always wanted to know how high he was. Yeah. Unfortunately, one hand is missing, and we don't know which one it is because we don't know whether it's the little one or the big one, because there's only one hand on it, so we can't tell whether that's the little one or the big one. But we don't care because I didn't pay that much for it. That's why. I'm going to play the thing by Mozart. It's called a Bagatelle, and it was originally written for 4 hands, but who has 4 hands? So I made an arrangement for 2 hands, which of course makes it twice as long. That's too bad. Pardon me, is there a doctor in the house? Yes! This composition is in the key of C. You don't care, of course. Now, where the hell is C? You didn't mark the C. Well, too bad. I have to find my own. Talk a little. That's why in Denmark we say, long time no see. Thank God for Sesame Street. That's the end of that one. Thank you. I'm glad you like that. I'm going to play 2 more endings. First, the second one, because I want the first one to be a surprise. I'm glad you recognize that. That's the last chord of the national anthem, and that saves us from standing up. And now the other one. That's the last chord of the opera Aida, and that saves us a whole evening. Yeah. I'm going to play. Let me see now. Anything particularly you like to hear? No? Okay. I'm going to play a composition by Debussy called Clear the Saloon. In Danish, that is. In French, it's something else. request I just remember. There's a couple here this afternoon. They're celebrating their 28th anniversary. Wedding, I guess. And, well, I don't know the names, I don't know where they're seated, but I certainly hope they are. And the gentleman brought this morning a sheet of music and asked if I would play. He didn't talk to me, but I understand some of the faculty. And I practiced it a little bit, and I have promised to play it, and I'm going to do it right now. I hope you will enjoy joining in the play. I think a child was just born. Christmas again. Now, you know, the title of this piece is Hemorrhage. No, what? Humoresque, I'm sorry. He said that his wife hates that number. So he asked me to please play it at least twice. The Baldwin Piano Company has asked me to announce that this is a Toyota. Yeah. But it's a nice Toyota. Of course, gets 40 sonatas to a gallon of beer. Can you all see this little thing there? There are millions of people in the world who do not know what this little thing is for. Millions. Unfortunately, I happen to be one of them. This is a former doorstop. But piano has no doors, so they stopped making them. That's why they call it doorstop. Is he drunk or what is it? Standing like this. Well, those Vikings, you can't trust them, you know. I looked through my family albums, you know, and they're really husky looking, those old people. Red-cheeked and bearded. Even the men look funny. Okay. Well, I don't know why it's so funny, but it sounds strange. Well, it you know, yeah, it really. Just a moment, let me just check on something. I still have the music right here. Are you sick? Oh. From the second act of Tannhäuser. Third act. Fourth act. Oh, that's right. Well, it's good to hear, but people really get completely nuts. Yeah. It says Allegro Moderato. That's the guy who wrote it. Now, he has written a lot of music. As a matter of fact, here we go. I'm trying to play it. Yep. I was right. Well, thank you. Do you care for good music? You do? Well, you've come to the wrong concert. Well, when I was young, I was concertized. Concertizing, maybe. And in the course, I come from a musical family. My father was a musician, and my mother played piano. And, well, often they played together, and obviously. And, oh, well, I mean, it's, I have 2.5 brothers. Yeah, 3 half-brothers, that's 1.5, and then 1 regular brother, that's 2.5. And the 3 of them are from here up. Now, my father was in the Royal Opera in Copenhagen for 35 years. And when he came home, my mother hardly recognized him. We have some long operas over there. And, well, when I was 8 years old, I made my debut as a concert pianist. I performed for the first time in public. I was standing on this side. I was the youngest doctor in the family. And the only one, as a matter of fact. Yeah. And 2 years later, I was 10. Not everybody knew it, but I often had an opportunity to play an encore during a piano recital, and I generally played them very early in the evening. And some of my favorite selections were a series of Viennese waltzes, and they were transcribed for concert use. They were quite difficult to play, particularly if you didn't know them very well. And they were transcribed by a famous pianist of that era, particularly in Europe. Here he wasn't very well known. That was his own fault, of course. His name was Ignaz Friedman, and I say was because he isn't any longer. He's still dead. And I mean, he's not still alive. He doesn't. And that's why we don't hear him so much anymore. And he is, there's a fly. A fly by day. Go and fly by the president. There will be a fly by night. Yeah. Then we have a fly by day and night. Night and day, you are the one. Well, it's almost yesterday. Oops. Yeah. Anyway, these 6 waltzes are very lovely, and Friedman sat up at night and wrote these things, and then he sat down in the daytime and practiced the piano because he couldn't play it late at night. We don't know to this moment why Friedman sat up at night and why he sat down in the daytime. But it's your language, and I'm just trying to learn it. And yeah, we have come to the conclusion that he couldn't stand sitting. Well, whenever I would announce any of these compositions from the stage, the whole audience would go, "Bravo! Bravo!" because Bravo played them much better than I do. He's Giuseppe Bravo, a great pianist and a big jerk. And he is he's a Portuguese. He and his wife are Portuguese, but you can't have one geese. Goose you twice, you're geesed. I'm going to play one of these waltzes. They are very charming, and I hope you will enjoy them. If you don't, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to play the one I intended to play. I'm going to play another one of the 6 waltzes, but you won't notice the difference. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, nevertheless. You know, people often wonder what goes on in the mind of a musician as she or he or him or her play or perform. What goes through their mind when they play these lovely romantic pieces, charming and... I'll tell you what went through mine. You won't like it. I was thinking, isn't it a shame these big fat opera singers always lean against the pianos and bend them? The big arias. Speaking of singers, it so happens that I am on a concert tour. I have done a few performances here in Texas before this event here today. And with me on this tour is a young singer of songs who she comes from a long line of sewing machines, I guess. Since she's not in the program, and as a matter of fact, she didn't even know she was going to be here, but I'm going to call upon her to ask her to come on and sing a few strange things. And I heard her the first time about 5 years ago in Washington, D.C., which was she was singing in a concert at the famous concert hall there, the Constitution Hall. And that was a benefit anyhow. And a mutual friend of ours told me to go and hear her because, I didn't know him very well, but that's what was mutual, of course. And I was in Washington, they said, it was on a Sunday, just like today. And, or last Sunday or next Sunday. And, no, it isn't next Sunday, last Sunday. And, is this grass? That's nice. This time of the year. And, well, I might as well tell, I was in Washington because I was going to have lunch at the White House, and I did have lunch at the White House. I say lunch, I was just munching on some crackers as I followed the guide around, and well, today I followed Mr. Strand around, stranding almost everywhere. Yeah. Well, in the evening when I entered Constitution Hall, it was with a feeling of nostalgia because I have played there so many times over all the years I've been in. And, well, see now. I've played for kings and queens and what are they? The whole deck. And, see now. The last United States president who attended live one of my concerts there was Howard Johnson, the Texan, Lyndon Johnson. Yes, and we called him Gentleman Bird because of his close relationship with Lady Bird, and he attended a few of my concerts there, as few as possible, of course. Once I remember he was there with Lady Bird, and once with one of the minor birds. And one evening he sat all alone in the box, and sound asleep. And then when I concluded that particular evening's program, I rushed backstage to my dressing room, and in front of the door stood a Secret Service man. And as I approached him, he pointed, he said, "You are Victor Borge." And I thanked him, of course, for that invaluable information. Then he said, my name is so-and-so. So I told him how sorry I was to hear that. And then he said, the president is on his way backstage. He is here to see you. He wishes to speak with you. So will you please prepare yourself to receive the President of the United States in less than 1 minute. In less than 1 minute, I thought, what am I going to do? Wash one hand? And in that case, which one? His or mine? Then the door opened, fortunately, because the President came through the door at the opening of that time. So he didn't get hurt. And then he came over to me, lifted me up by my ears, and pronounced me a Great Dane. Yeah. So, there I was, hanging around for a little while. Then I thought it was my turn to do something, so I bit him. He smiled. I thought that was funny, and then he lowered me, and I thanked him for the lift. Now, I must explain to the younger generations here, at one time, President Johnson, during his presidency, you are not supposed to listen to everything I say. He once, in front of a camera, lifted one of his dogs by the ears, by the dog's ears, of course. And there were pictures of that all over the world in the press, magazines. And it wasn't everybody who thought that was hilarious. But it was his own dog, and he had lifted it so many times by the ears. It was a big dog. And of course, he never hurt the dog, obviously not. Eventually, though, he tore the ears off. Yep. But that really didn't matter, because that dog never came when he called. And that's what he called it, anyway. All right, I just thought I would give you a little resume of the career of the young singer I am about to introduce, and I hope I won't embarrass her, because she's really not prepared to sing, because she is not dressed for any concert appearance. And if I call upon her, I hope that she will come up and look as terrible as she looks anyway. So will you please enter the stage, and will you please welcome Miss Marilyn Mulvey. Hello. Hello. Welcome to Dana. He's really a boy, as you can see, but strange figure for a boy, but that's the way it is nowadays. I know a lot of boys who look like girls anyway, because there's I know a lot of them and some of them. I don't know them very well, but I remember. Sit down. I thought that it would be a shame for you while she's here that you shouldn't hear how she sings. She sings has a very nice voice. And she had lunch here, and I think she should sing for it. Yeah. So according to what you hear now, then you know how the lunch was. I hope you like it. Yeah. Okay, Marilyn, what are you going? I've never seen you in things like that. What? Aren't they too long, those pants, or what? Gee. Look like a Russian folk dancer from one of the East European democracies. Okay. You go over there. Well, don't feel sorry for Marilyn. We have known her since she was standing on that side. She's a schoolmate of my eldest daughter, who is now 84. Seems like it. Okay, hands off, please. Marilyn is an opera singer. She has sung in many operas and has not sung in almost just as many. And What would you sing if you have to? Well, since we are not prepared, but really, what? It's up to you.
Well, I like...
Are you related to this thing over there? Yeah.
No,
Carla.
I'd like to sing the Caro Nome from Rigoletto.
Oh, God. I'm sorry. For the ones of you who are staying, Marilyn is going to sing the Kakame, the what? Kakanomi from the opera Rigor Mortis. By all means. Who wrote that? Giuseppe Verdi. Yeah, Joe Green to you. Get your hands off this piano. It's contagious over there. Okay. I wish you could explain to the rest of the audience how hilarious this really is. Okay, Mary. Ready? Hands off. Okay. Ready? Okay, sister, shoot the works. Just went to the doctor. Okay. Take it easy. Don't scare me like that. Just singing. Yeah, that's much better. He's nervous. What's the matter? Don't you know it? Finished? Hands off. We have an agreement. She doesn't touch my piano. I don't lay hands on her coloratura. I thought you had that fixed. Bravo. Would you like to hear another one? Marilyn, in spite of that, would you sing another one? I'll try to. Sing a little folk song. Marilyn's uncle is an archaeologist. What? Archaeologist. I said archaeologist. Archaeologist, and he has been a